don't get how you can be engaged to the world's richest man or one of them and still be this needy of attention.
You can't deny that there is a huge financial aspect to this story.
Oh yeah, no, that's true, Trevor. This is a huge deal. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world.
Today, Musk now asking a federal tech check. It is getting spicy now, Steve.
Yeah, Carl, spicy to say the least, with Musk ramping up this law.
I'm in favor of freedom of speech. Yeah. And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has...
Musk mocked Lauren Sanchez and revealed private messages that shocked the court and media, turning Bezos' $5 billion divorce into chaos. Sanchez denied the allegations, but broke down as evidence mounted, while Musk stayed unfazed.
Favor of freedom of speech. Yeah. And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no...
Musk unveiled private texts and audio of Lauren Sanchez making threats, mocking Bezos, and hinting at damaging secrets. The revelations shattered her polished image, leaving her visibly shaken before the jury, media, and Bezos. Tears streamed as Lauren's polished persona collapsed in court. She denied Musk's evidence, but verified timestamps proved her wrong. Before the jury, her confident image dissolved, leaving her fragile and exposed.
But I also think that Lauren Sanchez, we talk about this all the time, the more someone protests to the contrary, the more likely the opposite is to be true. Lauren Sanchez living her best life? I don't think so. I think she's paying a very, very, very high price to be the next Mrs. Jeff Bezos. And I think she has to look the way he wants. I think she has to look like a sex doll. I think it was his idea.
Lauren's once polished image shattered when Musk exposed her messages, turning Bezos' divorce into a power struggle between the two billionaires. Musk's leaks not only humiliated Lauren, but also chipped away at Bezos' carefully managed reputation, reshaping public opinion. Bezos' lawyers used the evidence to brand Sanchez as manipulative, bolstering his $5 billion claim. Headlines and analysts agreed Musk had tilted the trial in Bezos' favor. As Musk mocked her online and Bezos stayed silent, Sanchez's reputation collapsed, and the jury ultimately sided firmly with Bezos.
Lawyers argued Sanchez's actions justified the $5 billion divorce. The courtroom buzzed in disbelief as she sat stunned, having lost everything in an instant. Headlines called it a historic billionaire takedown, with experts crediting Musk's intervention for tipping the verdict. Bezos left quietly, vindicated, but aware of the personal cost. Sanchez's image was destroyed, now labeled toxic, manipulative, and untrustworthy. The billionaire world watched in shock, while public opinion split. Some hailed Musk as courageous for exposing her dark side. Many wondered if Musk sought justice or revenge. Online debates split between praising him as brave and condemning him as vindictive. Lauren vanished, her career and connections shattered. Bezos won in court, but faced doubts about power and trust among the elite. Musk's move exposed how fragile wealth and image can be. Lauren's breakdown showed even perfect facades can collapse, leaving both her future and Bezos' honor in question. Public opinion split sharply. Some hailed Bezos for exposing betrayal, while others accused him of using wealth to crush Sanchez. Many saw her as a victim. Others viewed the verdict as a warning that deceit won't be tolerated, even among billionaires. Bezos stayed silent as Sanchez's reputation, sponsorships, and social ties crumbled. Once a glamorous Venice couple, they're now remembered for scandal and betrayal, not love. At 78, Donald Trump finally addressed long-standing rumors about Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island, Little St. James, a Caribbean paradise with a dark reputation. Questions swirled for years. Had Trump ever set foot there? Under public and political pressure, he broke his silence, issuing a simple denial that only fueled curiosity. purchased by Epstein in 1998 for $7.95 million, the nearly 30-acre island became his private kingdom, complete with a lavish oceanfront mansion, tropical gardens, and a hidden marina for discreet yacht arrivals. Once a retreat, it is now remembered globally as a symbol of sin and scandal. The island had its own airstrip for private jets and a mysterious blue and gold dome that sparked global speculation. Staffed by over a dozen employees bound to secrecy, Little St. James hid a dark reality behind its luxurious facade. Lawsuits filed by the Virgin Islands Attorney General describe Epstein bringing young girls under the guise of sightseeing, with victims attempting escape only to be caught and stripped of passports and phones. Private planes and yachts frequently delivered visitors, and witness accounts mention secret parties with alcohol, music, and unspoken horrors. Everything at Little St. James happened behind closed doors. No cameras, no records. Rumors suggested the world's elite, from royalty to top politicians, visited, though no official list exists. Epstein's 2019 death left many questions unanswered. The island remains closed, but its dark legacy lingers. Donald Trump's name stands out due to his long association with Epstein. For years, his silence spoke volumes. Photos of him at lavish parties, including one in 2000 at Mar-a-Lago with Melania, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, were scrutinized worldwide, highlighting a once close friendship. The Guardian reported Epstein once called Trump his best friend, and Trump publicly praised him as witty and charming, their friendship spanning flashy parties from New York to Palm Beach. Speculation deepened after Epstein bought Little St. James, with Trump's name often whispered. On July 28, 2025, in Scotland, beside UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Trump denied ever visiting the island, calling that choice one of his best decisions, and citing a staff poaching dispute that ended their friendship. He then shifted blame toward Bill Clinton, and investigations confirmed Clinton flew on Epstein's jet at least 26 times in the early 2000s.
No evidence confirms Clinton visited Little St. James, and his team denies it. Many Epstein flights included figures like Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker, tied to Clinton Foundation charity work. But some trips lacked Secret Service, raising questions. Clinton admitted knowing Epstein and said the flights were charitable, yet reports revealed several private visits to Epstein's Manhattan mansion for discreet conversations. Was Clinton merely a social acquaintance or something more? The Epstein-Ghislaine Maxwell case files exceed 8,000 pages, with many names, including Clinton's, still sealed. No evidence confirms he ever visited Little St. James. For Trump, Clinton's alleged 28 flights on Epstein's jet have become a political weapon, drawing Democrats into the controversy. The revelations have muddied public perception for both former presidents. At a press conference in Scotland, Trump shifted focus, insisting the public should concentrate on more pressing matters, declaring it's over. Trump highlighted trade deals, calling the EU agreement the largest ever, a strategic distraction from the Epstein controversy. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate, faced mounting legal pressure. Sentenced to 20 years in prison, she is now appealing to the Supreme Court. Her case traces back to Epstein's controversial 2008 Florida plea deal, which let him serve just 13 months with work privileges and granted immunity to his co-conspirators. In 2020, Maxwell was formally indicted in New York under a separate jurisdiction of the U.S. Justice Department. Maxwell cited the 2008 plea deal, claiming it shielded her from prosecution. The DOJ rejected this, saying the agreement only applied in Florida and full immunity violates public interest. Both trial and appellate courts dismissed her claim. Her final option is the U.S. Supreme Court, which rarely takes cases, only 2 to 3% annually, making success unlikely. If the appeal fails, options are limited: a reduced sentence or a presidential pardon. When asked, Trump gave a vague answer, noting no one had formally requested a pardon, leaving the possibility open without commitment. legal experts suggest this ambiguity was intentional. Trump's evasive replies echo his past pardon tactics. If he denies Maxwell, she could seek a sentence reduction under DOJ Rule 35 for cooperation, though prosecutors doubt her credibility. Before appealing, she allegedly met privately with Todd Blanche, sparking rumors she's leveraging secrets for leniency. Public anger persists. One spokesperson said 20 years is too light. Speculation over an unverified Power 100 list linking elites to Epstein has turned the case into a political firestorm.
In July 2025, the FBI and DOJ said no solid proof tied Epstein to a Power 100 list. Yet Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal in her private meeting with Deputy AG Todd Blanche, Trump's former lawyer, reignited tension. Trump's sudden remarks looked like a bid to distance himself before any damaging leaks. Once mere rumor, the Epstein saga is now high-stakes drama, with old flight logs resurfacing. Reports claimed he sent Epstein a cryptic birthday card in 2003. Trump called it fake news and sued News Corp for $10 billion. Logs show flights with Epstein, but not to Little St. James, yet his name keeps reappearing, pushing Trump to have Pam Bondi push for grand jury transcript releases and turning a dead scandal into a GOP battlefield. Epstein's sealed files are fueling outrage as photos and rumors about Trump spark bipartisan doubt. Congressman Massey and fellow conservatives demand transparency, warning the powerful are being shielded. While traveling in Europe, Trump faces widening GOP rifts and skepticism over his pledge to release records. He denies visiting Epstein's island, but hasn't promised full disclosure, prompting suspicion even among loyalists. Analysts note he cut ties years ago after a Mar-a-Lago dispute, yet pressure mounts as he orders partial declassification of grand jury testimony. Shifting focus to trade and foreign policy, Trump fights to control the narrative, but his Epstein links keep resurfacing, turning the scandal into a fierce political battlefield.